Minasan, konnichiwa, Zamurai Engineer desu. In this chapter, we will discuss about payroll accounting. So we have 3 lessons in this chapter. Number 1, recording the payroll for pay period. Number 2, record employer pay payroll taxes and discuss the objectives of internal control for payroll. Okay, let us start with lesson 1, recording the payroll for a pay period. So what is a payroll? It pertains to both A, salaries, and B, wages. So salaries and wages. What is the difference? Salaries, managerial, administrative, and sales personnel. Okay? Monthly or yearly rate. Sorry about that. Wages, store clerks, factory employees, and manual laborers. Rate is per hour and other than monthly, sometimes daily, okay, or weekly. So if it is monthly or yearly, that is salaries. Okay. Otherwise, it is wages. Okay. So let us determine the payroll. Involves computing 3 amounts. 1, gross earnings. 2, payroll deductions. And 3, net pay. So take note of the 3. Earnings, deduction, and net pay. Determining the payroll, gross earnings, total compensation earned by an employee, wages or salaries, plus any bonuses and commissions. For example, type of pay, regular, different from overtime, you have total. Okay, so your rate for overtime is of course higher than your regular rate. You can compute the number of hours and then hours per rate per hours, then total. You have total wages. Okay, this is for wage earnings. Okay, so determining the payroll uh, with respect to mandatory and voluntary deduction. So we have mandatory. In the United States, they have FICA tax, they have federal income tax, and state income tax. Mandatory. And voluntary, they have what? Charity, they have insurance, they have union dues, they have pension plans. So in our country, we have the income tax only. Okay, that is the income tax. And what? Mandatory, I think, PhilHealth. Uh, but PhilHealth is mandatory for regular employee. I think regular employee and Social Security, mandatory in our country. Social Security and what? The Pag-ibig and PhilHealth and income tax. Those are the deductions. Okay. So, FICA tax, it involves Social Security and Medicare tax. Supplemental retirement, employment, disability, and medical benefits. So, this is in the United States. So, Social Security taxes, meaning employee and employer, they have to pay. Medical taxes, employee and employer, 1.45% on all salary wages without limitation. What about Social Security? 6%. About a total of what? 7.65? 7.65% just for 5 tax. So, Okay? Federal income tax. So what are there in the federal income tax? So because they are a federal government, meaning the national level, they have national tax. We have local level, we have state. Diba? In our country, we have income tax only for national level. In businesses, the companies will pay for national and also for local, which is what? Permits, business permits, okay? Licenses and business permits. Those are uh, some sort of state tax, okay? Permits and licenses, okay? Registration, like that. So in the United States, we have what? Employers are required to withhold income tax from employees. What happened? What happened? Uh, Employees pay. So in the United States, withholding amounts are based on gross wages and the number of allowances claimed. Similar with our system in the country. And then state income tax. What are those involved? Most states and some cities require employers to withhold income taxes from employees' earnings. Most, but not all. So, determining the payroll calculation of net pay. Net pay is equal to gross earnings minus payroll deductions. Okay? So, gross earnings, payroll deduction, PICE, federal, state, United Fund, Union Dues, United Fund, Security, Social Security. So you have what? 92, 27, net pay that for that to be done. So this is the format of our what? Payslip. Format of our payslip. By employee earnings record. So we have Michael Jordan. How much is the earnings of Michael Jordan? Per hour. Michael Jordan is per hour basis. Plenty of overtime. Regular is 480. Okay. Total. So cumulative. So regular 42 hours and overtime. That is the total. No? So total amount. So per week. This is per week basis. So 7 days, 7 days, so per week basis. So this is a payroll pay slip. No? So gross earnings and then deduction. So cumulative gross earnings will be total and then deduction will be total. Federal, state, United, and others. No? Then amount. So you have what? The total for 1 month is 1,767. 1,000. That is what? For 1 month. That is Michael Jordan's salary for 1 month. So because of the total amount of deduction amounting to what? 300? 50. 350 total amount of deduction. Okay, for somebody who is receiving 2,118 basic pay. So 2,000 is about 100. 2,118 is about 100,000 pesos. 100,000 pesos. Okay? You are receiving this amount, 100,000 pesos. So this is 350. So 350, that is what? 350, that is 17, maybe about 17,000. Okay. Deduction. So the federal income tax is lesser than PICA. PICA is the most. PICA is actually I know this, but not personally. I know PICA in several movies. Movies. I look at the they are always complaining of PICA. So not personal. I just heard about it. I just heard about it, and now we can say that PICA is the what? The one having the highest amount of deduction. Then next is federal, uh, and then next is state, and then some others. Okay. So this is similarly true in Japan, where I work. The health securities, and tax are the most uh, is the highest of the different types of deduction. So very. So I paid about 1.7 million for 4 years total tax. Okay, total. Imagine that. Imagine that. It's too much. It's too much. About 1.7. Because those are immediately deducted. Immediately deducted. So, but here it is not too much. It's still too much, but because what? It is what? This is 1 month. This is 1 month. We are paying 17,000 1 month. 17,000 pesos 1 month. So about 1 year, 170 in 1 year. 170 plus, so 190, about 200 in 1 year. You will pay about 200,000 pesos in 1 year. Tax or deduction. So in 5 years, that is 1 million. 1 million in 5 years. Okay. In 4 years. So imagine how much is the salary if you pay 1.7 million in 4 years. Imagine the salary. Imagine it. Hey, so that is how it works in developed countries. But in our country, uh, we have what? I think we have higher percent deduction. This is about 12%, 12 to 13% total deduction. So this is about 14%. So about similar deduction in our country, but our salaries are lesser. That's why our deduction are lesser. Okay? So, think about it. That is our contribution to be a citizen of this country. Okay? Contribute for the uh, money of the government. Now, another payroll. This is for one person, employee. This is the register for the company. So that is the difference. Huh? That is the difference is for company, for one person. This is for one person, and this is for the company. Per week. Per week. So for the week ending, so wages. So this is wages because this is less than 1 month. No? Wages. So there are what? Total hours per week. So they are giving out what? 40 hours per week. So what about this? There are overtime. So there are overtime. 40 hours per week in their country. In United States, 40 hours per week. So in the Philippines, we have 44 hours. We have 48 hours. Okay, so we have 44 hours. We have 48 hours company in our company. So that is the difference. They have what? 40 hours. Okay, regular. With overtime for those with more than that. Okay, so take a look. So they have overtime. If you render 40 hours, you don't have overtime. 42 hours by Bennett and by Michael Jordan, 72 overtime, 4 hours over. So, okay, that is for Jordan. The red one is reflected on Jordan, 44 hours, okay, and received 459.73. So that is Michael Jordan for 59.73. Okay, for 59.73. Take a look at the red portion. 459.73. 459.73. That is Michael Jordan for the second week. Okay? Okay? With 4 hours overtime, amounting to $72. So 4 hours, 72 divided by 4. That is 1, 12, 13. So $13 per hour is good. $13 per hour is good. In Japan, to more than 20 years ago, per hour is $10. $10 per hour. This is what? $13 per hour. So a good overtime pay. In Japan, $10 but times percent. So I think about 13. The same because 30% adjustment. It's even because I'm working in Japan. I work in Japan uh, during night shift overtime with night shift. So it's what, very big rate per hour. So $13 plus the night differential, I think 25%. So they have what, and then you will work during holiday, so double. So I will, I am always working during holiday, so it doubles. So those are uh, reflected on the payroll here. So PICA like that. So okay, we have what? So total hours, regular, overtime, gross. That is the total. Gross is total. Then deduction, FICA, federal, states. So just familiarize yourself with this. Then paid net pay. So net pay meaning gross minus total deduction, then net pay. They are paid in check. So check number is released. Okay, check number. There is a check booklet. So now that is not check but ATM. ATM account. So that is the account number. ATM account number. Okay, that is uh, accounts debited, salaries and wages expense. So account you will take note. Account debited, salaries and wages expense is for the gross. Net is for the individual because those are the amount of money that they will receive. But for the company, that is the gross because the deduction is not in the control of the company. The company will just pay for the PICA. Okay, so they will just what collect and submit it. So, okay, similar. These rates are similar in Japan. Almost similar in Japan. Almost similar. Uh, Journal entry to recognize payroll expenses and liabilities. Example, prepare the entry academy company would make to record the payroll for the week ending January 14. So these are the listed down there. So for our sample, right here, academy company. So totals. So you can salaries and wages. You have what? 17,000, which is the gross total. So less of the PICA. So you already have on the lower portion here. On the lower portion of the total. For example, PICA. How much is the PICA? Here, 1,316. Oh, that is 1,316 here. Okay. What about the federal? The federal tax. 3,490. So 3,490. All here. Salaries and wages payable, meaning there are still others that's not yet, but so you have what? Union dues 115. Union dues 115. Then salaries and wages payable 11,000. So that is the net. Salaries and wages payable, that is the net. Okay. So let us go to the next example. So we have prepare the uh, journal entry. So salaries and wages payable. Then cash. We pay in cash. So we have what? So cash on bank is cash because they release check. The company release check, but that is recorded as cash because that is cash on bank. They did not make a distinction between cash on hand and cash on bank. This cash is on bank because it is in terms of check. Check is recorded against the bank account number of the company. So payroll. So still, this is recorded as cash. Okay. Take a look here and here. So salaries and wages payable. Okay. So so we have cash, salaries and wages expense, salaries and wages payable. So just to complete, no? So this is the first transaction record, then second to complete. So payment. No? So this is the payment of the payroll. So just to record the payroll, this is the payroll recording. Payroll recording, payment of payroll. Recording, payment of the payroll. So we have check. So like this, no? Check Michael Jordan for 159 to 73. That is for second week. So these are the check paid to the order of Daniel. So they are paying by check. They are releasing check. I don't think they are releasing check by now. They are just showing you the, giving you the pay slip, and automatically the salaries and wages are on the ATM. How about wages? Because they are not regular employee, they are paid on the hourly basis. So how about them? Not regular employee, so they are paid by cash, envelope, cash with the envelope together with the pay slip, and then give it one by one. That's how they do it in our country for the laborers, skilled worker that are paid in wages, not in salary. Okay, okay, let us take a look on our lesson number 2. Recording employer payroll taxes. Okay, PICA. Payroll tax expense is sourced from three taxes that governmental agencies levy on employers. Okay. PICA, federal unemployment, and state unemployment. So same rate and maximum earnings as the employees. Okay. Same rate. Levy on employers. There is a payment by employee and the employer, both. No? So same rate and maximum earnings as employees. So whatever is the employee paying the employer. So this is true in our SSS or GSIS, and what pag-ibig, I think. There's an employer percentage, and actually in some of these SSS, I think GSIS, the employer pays more than the employee. I think that is the case, and also in the pag-ibig. No? So uh, federal unemployment tax uh, is 6.2, okay, of the first 7,000. Employers who pay uh, can offset, no? So they have what? Uh, Federal tax rate is generally 0.8. So net, because they will have a credit of what 5.4. If they are what employers who pay the state unemployment tax on a timely basis, timely basis, timely basis. If they are good in paying they have what offset credit 5.4%. So generally 6.2 I know so. So they are good. Okay, so how about the state unemployment tax? Basic rate is usually 5.4. That's why they can what? They can they can what? Offset that, no? So 6.2 is the total. Offset that. So for the first 7,000 of wages paid. Okay. So this is for employer. This is not for employee. But the rate is the same. So again, this is employee and employer. No? So we have example, payroll tax expense. That is an expense. So if you have an expense, so you have to debit 2,383. What are those involved? FICA, payable, not yet being paid but already recorded. So you have what? 1,300. And then federal unemployment. And then the next one is state. 8%, 0.8% and point. No. So the total is actually what? 7.6. 7.6. No? Total is 7.6 because 0.8 is for federal and 5.4 for local. So that is here. Huh? Federal ay 6.2. 6.2 for federal, 6.2 for federal. So just like what I've said, just like what I've noticed, what I observed in the previous slide, FICA is the highest tax payable because it is 7.65. Okay? Okay? While the state is 5.4 and the federal is 0.8. Okay, there is what? There's a typo error here. So this is federal. This is state. This okay. I think I can change this. State. Why? This is state. So that is state unemployment tax. So somebody got typographical error because copy paste. Because of copy paste. That is usually the error of the high technology age. Okay? Copy paste. Forgetting about editing. No? So FICA 7.65, then federal and state tax 6.2. Okay, question. Employer payroll taxes do not include A. Federal unemployment tax, uh, employer, employer, B. State unemployment tax, C. Federal income tax, D. FICA taxes. Employer, therefore, they do not have letter C. They do not have letter C. Because they are employer. They did not get an income from paying the salary. They get what? Expense. Okay, so okay, so let's continue. Filing and remitting payroll taxes. Companies must report FICA and federal income taxes withheld no later than 1 month following the close of each quarter. 1 month following per quarter. Companies generally file and remit federal and employment taxes annually on or before January 31. Annually. January 31 of the subsequent year. So, 1 month after then, no? 1 month after. So, this is for employer, no? FICA taxes and federal income taxes are from the employees, no? So, companies usually file and pay state and employment taxes by the end of the month following each quarter. Sa state, for state and employment tax, end of the month following each quarter. So 1 month. So still 1 month. They have 1 month. In our country, for taxes that is to be paid yearly, we have 1 quarter plus 1 month. So actually, 3 to 4 months after. So in the United States, they only have 1 month allowance. Okay? Employers must provide its employee with a wage and tax statement, Form W2. So we have a different form here, BAR form something, no? 1060 something, no? Okay, so we have this wage and tax statement. So, for example, we have this is the form. So you have to keep this. This is the evidence that you pay tax. No? So here, Michael Jordan paid about what? How much that he paid? He earned 526. Okay. State income tax. Okay. So state wages, tips. So 26,300. This is an example. So example. And lesson number 3, discuss the objectives of internal control for payroll. How to control this? As applied to payrolls, the objectives of internal control are 1. To safeguard the company assets against unauthorized payment of payrolls. Okay, that is a good control. And 2, to ensure the accuracy and reliability of the accounting records pertaining to payroll. So these are the internal control mechanism. Companies should have this. Who will what? Check the safeguarding of the number 1, and who will check for the number 2. So those are the job of a controller. So payroll function, hiring employees, human resource, internal control feature, human resources, department, documents, and authorized employment. Fraud prevented. Fictitious employees are not added to payroll. So there is a proper recording of those people who are hired by the company. We can what? Monitor who are they, the names and addresses and the contacts. We can monitor who are they. Okay. Then timekeeping, internal control features, supervisors monitor hours, work through time cards and time reports. Are they really working? Are they there in our what? Giving the services to the company. Fraud prevented, employee not paid for hours not worked. You only have to get paid for rendered services. Okay? Payroll function, preparing the payroll, internal control feature. 2 or more employees verify payroll amounts. Supervisor approves. So 2 or more employees verify. After accounting staff compute, there are another 2 or more that will verify. And after the wards, there is a supervisor who will approve. So fraud prevented, payroll calculation are accurate and relevant. Paying the payroll. Now, so internal control procedure, treasurer signs and distributes pre-numbered checks. Okay? Pre-numbered checks. So fraud prevented checks are not lost, misappropriated or unavailable for proof of payment if there's check provides proof of payment. So because of pre-numbering, so you can get track which number is which number is which. So all of these are good internal control over payroll. So there are several steps here that we can prepare. So employees record, timekeeping, and preparation of payroll and payment of payroll. Preparation, computation, and so on. And then payment, check. So these different steps. At least we'll have our company get a good grip on control over payroll fraud. Again, we successfully describe, discuss, explain everything about payroll accounting. Thank you. And again, this is Dr. EP, preaching engineering for nation building.